All right, welcome back, guys. For the redoing this intro for the sake of the VOD, I totally had myself muted the first take. So we are back again for the sake of the VOD viewers. We did have a quick remake here from Game 1, so we are into the draft. I'm Zyori. With me is Min. Sorry for the repetition there for those of you viewing live. Looks like the stream has come back, though. We did have a bit of an XSplit fail, and I think we are. I think we're in good shape. My little preview looks good. Mischyz could probably confirm that things look good.
Yes, things look good.
Golden, beautiful, crystal clear, 1080p. I love it. I love it. So here it looks like the connection issues are not 100% resolved, though. Hopefully that was just Ferreira giving us a little bit of a heart attack, doing a little reset there. Hopefully he doesn't have issues once we get into the game. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the draft here for this game. Of course, it is a best of 1, round of 16. Yet again. Band's going to get started off with OGSY. Going to start things off with Dark Lady, followed by Polywog Priest, Pyromancer, Balfagor, Meraxis, Forsaken Archer, Pebbles, and Armadon. Now, of course, Balfagor is an interesting ban. He was in the original take of this game, this series, what have you. OGSY did a very aggressive pushing strategy. Balfagor, Demented Shaman, Polywog Priest, just to name a few. Legion team did a much more straightforward strategy, had that farming Draconis. Things thrown in a wrench thrown in the mix thanks to that last DC. So Balfagor being banned, I guess. Ferreira not looking to deal with the scary pushing potential that was left on the board. So just to give you guys some context. Min, anything else about the bans here?
No, pretty straightforward bans, but Polywog Priest and Balfagor was banned. I mean, both of them were banned. I think it's due to previous game insights. Yeah, so the rest are pretty fine to me. Yeah.
Yep. And well, there are some similarities here across the two teams. You know, Hammer, Storm, Aluna, Bubbles, I believe, were in the last game. And, you know, we see Torture over here and Pharaoh, two of the pieces of the OGSY puzzle from last match here. They are going to complement those picks, though, with Wretched Hag, Magmus, and Emerald Warden, which is a little bit different. Emerald Warden is a hero that I'm tempted to say, yeah, ain't getting too much love these days. Back in my days of being a Honcast caster, Emerald Warden was really popular in the SEA client, but really not so much in the international client. And now it doesn't seem that he's really popular at all. So I'm actually pretty excited to see some Emerald Warden action here in this round of 16 matchup.
Yeah, Emerald Warden himself is like kind of he had a burst damage, I mean strong burst damage with the first and second skill, with the Gerwin Shrine. I mean, yeah, so but he needs item himself, he's kind of squishy, but he has like defense mechanism like the root. Yeah, so he works fine. Yeah. For me at least, yeah.
Absolutely. He does bring a lot of utility. I think the big thing is his silence. So interesting, Mage Bane going to be actually the last pick here for our Legion team, VtS, and I think some of that is looking at Emerald Warden and thinking, all right, he's their hard carry. We're going to pick an even harder hard carry to out-carry that carry. And I think that's a smart play here. It makes a lot of sense, but one thing to note is Emerald Warden does actually pose a bit of a counter to Mage Bane, and because of that silence, as I mentioned, a silencing shot at level 4 will silence for 5 seconds, and if they do pick up a fairly timely Hellflower, this Mage Bane can find himself in a little bit of a sticky situation. You know, silence is the bane of his existence, so to speak. As it does sort of mitigate his ability to blink around, and hence mitigating some of that survivability that Mage Bane brings to the table. So we'll see. As always, I think it's going to be a matter of kind of that early game. Will Mage Bane have absolute free farm, able to do whatever he wants in the early stages, or is he going to have a little bit of a difficult time and struggle to get that initial farm? I think there's a pretty strong correlation with that and how Mage Bane continues to fare as the game continues. On the Hellborn side of things, we'll see how their lanes settle down here. Looks like they're starting off in the way of a tri-lane. Emerald Warden, Torturer, and Magmus going to be in the long lane. Wretched Hag going to be solo mid, and that does leave Pharaoh for the solo close lane at the top.
Yep. So it looks like it's gonna be a 3v3 tri-lane at a bot lane.
Yep. Just a quick recap on what happened the previous game was that the computers at the LAN center had a bit of an issue, so we're remaking this game with a total whole new draft to go with it. Because that was what the teams agreed on there and then. So here we are with Game 1 remade.
Yes, the longest best of one series I have ever had the privilege of casting. But you're right, that's a good thing to put out. Both teams agreed to the redraft, and that's always the best way to go about it. Whenever there's some sort of a connection issue like that, if both teams can agree to some sort of a remedy, regardless of what it is, at least we know both teams are somewhat happy with the outcome, and neither team is feeling too shortchanged with the decision. So, good adminning work, I think, is the moral of the story. Aluna going to find herself in a little bit of trouble here, going to venture a bit too close to this tri-lane. It looks like we may have a early Bloodlust here. She's going to pop that potion, but it's not going to be enough. The Bloodlust is going to come out for Torturer here, and that is going to be a nice gold pick-me-up. Very nice, actually. And in that last game, we did see a support Torturer as well in a very similar scenario as this. Nice to see Torturer picking up that bonus gold. So now she can sit back, not worry about farming this lane, but get a nice little bit of income here. Maybe get some early booties. We'll see here in just a second. I have a feeling, yep, that's going to be the case. So Magebane, unfortunately, going to be off to a little bit of a slower start because, well, his tri-lane, I guess in general, is off to a slow start with the Luna going down. Certainly good news for OGSY. Now, important to note from that last game, it was relatively even, though OGSY was in a little bit of a rough situation. In my opinion, had that last game played out without DCs, OGSY would not have come out the victor unless something crazy happened, like some huge mistake was made by VtS. So that is... we'll see. It'll be interesting if OGSY starts to take over this game a little bit and VtS starts to go on the defensive. The coin sort of flips a little bit. You know, just all interesting things to point out. Wretched Hag Bubbles in the mid lane. How are they doing, Min? 7-1 on the Bubbles, and Wretched Hag 9-1 looks like a pretty straightforward break-even mid lane thus far.
Yeah.
And that does leave us with the top lane here. We take a look at Pharaoh versus Cthulhuphant. 6-1 Cthulhuphant, 7-4 Pharaoh. Same story, different chapter as that mid lane. I doubt we'll see too many kills come about certainly in the top, possibly in the mid. But also one important to note. Oh no, never mind. Not important to note. Scratch that. So I guess the tri lane is sort of where all the action's going to be, though it seems fairly defensive down here as well. Magebane not able to farm a hell of a lot. He's still sitting 4-0. It really isn't much of a tri-lane versus tri-lane at the moment. Really a tri-lane versus Magebane here, as we see Aluna and Hammerstorm in the jungle. They'd love to stack and pull this camp right here, but indeed it is warded.
Yeah, so pretty much they are not helping Mischyz with anything. So yeah, I think they would have, I mean, they could not do anything as well because the Hellborn team actually had quite a strong tri-lane. I mean, yeah, quite solid. They have a Magnus and a Torturer, so yeah, it's quite difficult for them to actually.
Oh, in the mid lane, double damage. Wretched Hag looks like we may see a kill on the Bubbles. That's going to be enough to finish him off. Very nicely done there. Ferreira, unfortunately, going to be off to a much different start than he had last game. Of course, he was playing that Pyromancer that did get dropped and was kind of out of control, I would say, in that game. He's going to be off to a much slower start on Bubbles. That is great news for Wretched Hag in the hands of Shadow Age here. The bottom lane, still Magebane continuing to struggle. Glancing at the GPM chart, worlds of different right now. Cthulhuphant leading the way for the Legion side, sitting at only 200 GPM. And we've got 3 heroes above the 300 GPM mark across all 3 lanes here for OGSY. They are off to a completely different start than last game. 2k gold, 1.4k experience, only 4 minutes in. I have to say, man, it's almost like watching a different team.
Yeah, it's like totally different gameplay. Oh, and looks like action is going on. Magma stun on Hammerstone in big trouble. Silence, and this stun come from Torturer, but will not be able to take down Hammerstone there.
Wow, that was sort of an odd engage. A noble effort from Magnus there, but I thought he might actually get turned around on. But yeah, and exactly, you know, looking at these tri-lanes, basing the heroes, I mean, we've got Magnus and Torturer, nice double stun there, and Rewarden doesn't stun, but he's got a slow and a silence, he's pretty bursty. Nice aggressive tri-lane, really, and it does have some defensive capability too, should the Legion try and get aggressive. Aluna Hammerstorm, double stun, very bursty as well, but Magebane just doesn't bring that same burst damage that Emerald Warden does, and that's one of the problems where this tri-lane is just not going to be able to fare as well. You just look at Magebane. Anytime he gets near the creeps, he's just getting harassed back, and well, overall, I think he's just having a bad time. I don't think this tri-lane could really be going much better for OGSY at this point.
Yeah. They are fairly losing their tri-lane. Yeah, so most probably if Bubbles hit 6 there, he might be able to run down to bot and get some assists to set up kills. Yeah.
Well, and this is one of these situations where it looks like the tri-lane is, I would label it a failure for the Legion side right now. Magebane sitting only 6-0, 5 minutes in, not even close to where he needs to be right now. Switch him up with the Cthulhuphant. Bring Cthulhuphant down to the bottom lane. I mean, Magebane now, again, it could be too little too late. He's level 4. Pharaoh is already level 6, but Magebane will be able to hold his own against Pharaoh very, very easily, and he should be able to pick up at least slightly better farm. I mean, even Cthulhuphant is 18 or 19-2. You know, going up against a melee is much easier, and Magebane will be able to keep that mana off of Pharaoh quite a bit. So I think that may be a wise lane rotation, if at all possible. Of course, without boots, so you'd have to buy some ports and whatnot, and it might be it could be a very costly endeavor, but still. It just seems clear that keeping a static Magebane down here in the bottom lane is not going to be a first-class ticket to success here for VtS.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and Luna is still sitting at level 1, so he's not much of a use right here.
Yeah, I absolutely. And, you know, Luna's got a lot of power, and, I mean, even just taking Luna to the top lane to maybe shut down this Pharaoh, have this Luna roam around, maybe bring her to the mid lane, put some pressure on Wretched Hag. It feels like Luna really isn't playing a role in this game right now. As you mentioned, she's still sitting level 1. The raw creep score only has 1 deny, very little experience, pretty much, well, actually, just static gold gain at the moment. Do something. Stack the jungle, move to the mid lane, put some harassment on, move around the map. You know, she's just now hitting level 2, sucking some experience from Magebane. I'd love to see this Luna be a little bit more active. And sort of same goes for Hammerstorm. When you're in a tri-lane, you need to use that mana. That's sort of the point of the tri-lane, is having those 3 heroes to make something happen. If you're not using that mana, you've just got to have these 2 heroes that really end up becoming expensive paperweights. They're soaking up that experience. They're not really wandering around. I mean, at the very least, stack the jungle. They finally have the pull back. The ward has gone down. I imagine OGSY here will want to reward the pull. Looks like there could be some action in the mid lane. Wretched Hag could be in a little bit of trouble. There's going to be some roaming action coming her way. And it looks like not quite yet. Bubbles now level 6 though. They may be able to make something happen.
Yeah, looks like Mischyz transferred to top lane just like what you have predicted just now.
Well, it's good to see. And oh, in the mid lane, we're going to see some initiation. Wretched Hag going to be in big trouble. A few more auto attacks ought to do it. The courier going to bring something in. I think that was the Steam Boots going to sip up the bottle. And now Hag may come in. Is he going to be able to finish off Bubbles here? There it is, the aggressive blink forward and the Bat Blast. Looks like Hag going to be able to survive this as well. The power throw going to be guest strong, and Luna going to fall. Beautiful roam from Magnus. That was the absolute right play. They're going to be able to secure 2 kills here. Now 4-0. OGSY leagues ahead. 4K gold, 2.8K experience. Like you said, Magebane now at the top lane. I think that's the smart play, but still only 12-3. He has a long way to go to make a recovery in the way of farm here. I think this is a step in the right direction, but is it too little too late? Already down by 4 kills. Pretty big deficit here, only 8 minutes in. Sometimes carries can be a double-edged sword. If they snowball and get out of control, they can easily win you the game, but if they don't get any farm, they can easily hold you back and be, as I said before, kind of a dense paperweight. We see Pharaoh already with the Helm of the Black Legion, and that's kind of what I meant by too little too late. They go to the top lane, they drop a lot on Pharaoh, they can't make anything happen, and in return, actually, Bubbles gets turned around on. Very easy kill there for the Hellborn side. Magebane forced to kind of head for the hills here. He's been able to pick up that life tube, but that's about it. Level 8 Pharaoh. Wow. Able to absorb all that damage. The Kelp field pretty much getting wasted on the Singleton Pharaoh.
Yeah, that was like kind of wasteful, and they should not even attempt to bring down Pharaoh with just Magebane and Bubbles. And mid, there's some action going on to be able to take down Wretched Hag by the 3 heroes on the Legion team. Yeah, so basically we can see here right now actually Torturer and Mischyz is like controlling Mischyz all the way. Wherever Mischyz go, they go. So it's really a tough time for Mischyz here.
Well, and I think it's the right play. I mean, look at what happened. Magebane goes top, and they rotate top, and that opened a huge window for Emerald Warden. While we were looking at the top and the mid lane, Emerald Warden's just been sitting down here having the time of his life, just having a field day, last hitting creeps non-stop. He is the leading farmer in this game now, 55 and 33 on the creep score. Kind of on par with that affair. Looking at the GPM chart, man, they are neck and neck, well above 300 GPM. So the absolute right play. Not only are they shutting down Magebane, but they're finding these windows of opportunity to get their carry some nice farm as well. Emerald Warden, he ain't no joke, man. He can do some pretty serious damage if he gets the farm as well. Already has the Ghost Marchers. He's in great shape, just having the time of his life. Bubbles, oh, might be in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to blow the kelp field, and they're going to go in mail. Nope, not going to happen. I thought they were going to try and engage that on the Torturer, but not going to happen. So far, Bubbles, though, Ferreira really having a tough game. He's picked up his red boots, does have a bottle, but 0 and 3 here. Only 10 minutes in, 140 GPM. That's really not where the solo mid wants to be.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you are your solo mid and this score that you have is not really very good. Yeah, so he actually attempted to gank top just now, but it does not seem to be working good. So he should right now take this advantage of his level 7 at least, take a roam around bottom lane at least, get down, bring down Emerald Warden, because he's really farming all the way and really in great shape right now. So yeah, he needs to do something.
Yeah, Emerald Warden needs to be a little careful here. He's in an okay position, but he is just deep in enemy territory without much support nearby. I mean, they could port to that bottom tower, but he just needs to be a little careful. There really isn't too much ward coverage for the Hellborn side in the Legion jungle. They have a ward here in the mid lane and right at the bottom rune, but in the way of Emerald Warden being safe, pushed up that far, he needs to be very careful. Hammerstorm going to get caught here. He's going to bump into the pain train that is Magmus and Torturer, and that'll be a pretty easy kill here for the Hellborn team. Torturer actually the one to pick up that last hit. There's going to be a Wrath of the Pharaoh onto Magebane. Not going to be enough to secure a kill, but it will be enough to force a defensive blink. And again, we'll open up a window of opportunity to easily take out this tier 1 tower here in the mid lane. Magebane going to hang by. He's going to try and score this deny. The glyph going to be used. They want the deny. They want to make something happen. Is there a kelp field? There it is. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Beautiful deny from Bubbles, so it was successful on some front. Oh, Wretched Hag, the right idea to try to finish off Magebane, but unfortunately the Bat Blast going to come out just half a second too late, and Magebane will be able to blink to safety. A nice effort, unfortunately, not executed quite right. It's going to wrap up 6-1 now, 12 minutes in, about 7k gold lead, 5k experience. Our Hellborn team still in great shape.
Yep. Yeah, so right now at least the tier 1 tower is down and Mischyz will be able to grab some farms from the mid lane, so able to catch things up.
Yep, that's a good thing to point out. Pushing those early towers does open a window for a little bit of static farming. So we'll see see if Magebane can capitalize again. He still has a long way to go, 29 and 5. He's yet to die, but only 150 GPM. I mean, yeah, he definitely has a long way to go.
Yeah.
Top tier 1 tower, taking a lot of pressure. Looks like it is going to fall. Bubbles is just creeping there in the jungle. But yeah, completely unchecked tier 1 tower, and I think that's kind of the right call. Really, nothing that VtS can do here. There's no way that they could have defended that tower safely, so they're going to be forced to sack it. Let their team farm up. I think they're just going to be happy that they have any time for Magebane to get some solo farm, so they're just going to let him do his thing. All the while, though, we can't forget about Emerald Warden. Tian Tang here is just still having a field day. 365 GPM, 83 and 53. He's not missing the last hits down here. Absolutely unchecked free farm. It's just unreal. Looking at the raw creep scores, him and Pharaoh are practically doubling everyone else on the Legion side, if not ahead by a greater margin. So I think the real scary part of this game is just the Emerald Warden here, sitting level 8. They left the level 4 Hammerstorm to try and deal with him in lane. Unfortunately, Hammerstorm just doesn't have the lane presence needed to shut down this Emerald Warden.
Yep. Yeah, so Emerald Warden, I mean, he's like just farming all the way, and he had a blast up already.
Oh wow.
Perhaps
Yeah.
going for a Nullstone, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I think so. I would guess Nullstone on Emerald Warden. Again, he's one of those heroes. He needs that mana regen. Once he gets that mana regen, man, he can spam those Hunter's Command wolves and be a thorn in your side so easily. So I would certainly reckon it'll be a Nullstone. And other item pickups. See a couple of Helm of the Black Legions here on the Legion side. How appropriate. Magebane actually going Helm of the Black Legion first, which I don't think is a bad choice here, but sort of just further evidence that yeah, he's kind of far behind at this point. It's going to be a long while off before Magebane does anything in the way of big damage output. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and right now Hellborns are dropping all the tier 1 towers. So it's really a good goal benefit for the Hellborn team. Yeah, so. And the Legion team can't do anything as well. They can't defend. And they are not intending to defend as well. So they are just going to let, okay, Mischyz is at least now he has farm at the mid lane. Yeah, so let's just like distract the rest and let Mischyz just keep on with the static farming.
Yep, and I think that's really the right play here. It looks like, thought they may try and engage on the Pharaoh, but not going to take the Shell Surf. And looks like the Contra may be true. The Pain Train is here. Hellborn side is in. Wrath the Pharaoh going to connect with Cthulhuphon. Wretched Hag's going in. Bubble's just going to try and pour it out. And he's going to be able to do just that. Cthulhuphon is going to fall. So all those ports for one single kill on the mighty Cthulhuphon. Will the Hellborn team continue to pressure, though? That is the question itching in the back of my mind. And I think they very well may. 4 of them up in the top. Emerald Warden still making sure that bottom lane is on lockdown. Hell, Emerald Warden may be able to pressure this tier 2 down here in the bottom lane while the rest of his teammates pressure the top. Nope, not going to be the case here as they are going to head back towards mid. Looks like they may bring some pressure Magebane's way. And he's privy to it, of course. The wards are down and he's going to blink defensively. Hag in kind of an odd position here off to the side. Looks like a Luna Bubbles may get sandwiched. Hag going to go straight in, open up with the slow as well as the Sonar Scream. Yeah, there's going to be easy kills there. Wretched Hag with the double tap. Going to clean it up with the Bat Blast. Very, very nicely done. Very crafty play by Mr. Wretched Hag there. But is going to be able to make it happen. Down here in the bottom, Emerald Warden going to find himself in a bit of a sticky wicket. Magebane bringing on the deeps, and oh, that's going to be the end of Hammerstorm. A nice play from Emerald Warden, recognizing he's not going to be able to get away. At the very least, does make it a 1-for-1 exchange.
Yep. At least, like, he was like, okay, you are going down with me. I don't care. So, yeah.
Absolutely. A good play. And that was sort of, I was going to say that. It looked like he was going to run. It's like, oh, just stand your ground. Level 5 Hammerstorm is an easy kill for you, Mr. Emerald Warden. So a nice heads-up play. Unfortunately, that was kind of the point that I was making earlier. Emerald Warden needs to be a little bit careful pushing up that far. They just have absolutely no ward coverage. You see no Hellborn wards in the lower portion of the map. So not surprised. A nice heads-up play from Magebane as well to come down and recognize the out-of-place whatever Emerald Warden is. I was going to use a generic pronoun for whatever thing. I guess he's a dryad of sorts, but Emerald Warden here. The elk with a bow. I don't know, what is he? Is he a centaur? Is that... What creature is that?
I think it's a goat.
A goat.
Yeah, it seems like a goat.
he is goat-like. I really don't know. He's a half centaur goat thing with a bow. An archer.
Yeah.
A mercenary. Who knows? I have no idea what he is. The Hellborn team, though, continuing their rampage. Now about 11k gold ahead. They're going to group up in the bottom lane. Looks like they want to pressure this tier 2 bottom tower. And they shouldn't really have too much trouble. The Nullstone complete on Emerald Warden. That's a huge item pickup, as I said. That ups that mana pool. Going to give him plenty of regen. And he's just going to be spamming those abilities. And again, this tier 2 tower looking like it's going to fall. I think it's going to be sacrificed. The Legion team's clumped up, but they're just going to sit back around this tier 3. Going to throw the glyph to buy a little bit of time. Maybe Cthulhuphon can pressure this tier 1 up in the top lane, but nope, he's going to port down. He's actually going to port right down here. Nope, going to cancel the port. I don't know what Cthulhuphon was thinking there. Going to cancel the port. Now he's stuck at the top. He's got his port on cooldown. He's going to be running all the way back to the base instead of pressuring the tower. Cthulhuphon, my friend, I'm sorry to pick on you, but I have to question the decision-making there. probably should have just stayed. You could have at least picked up that tier 1 tower. Now you've got the entire Hellborn side knocking at the front door of the Legion base. Now that Cthulhu has run back, they're all just going to pour it out. And talk about a waste of time for the purple elephant. He's going to run down to the bottom lane, and the party's already gone. Very unfortunate indeed.
Yeah, he totally missed the party. He should just like stay there and get a tier 1 tower at the very least.
Yeah. Well, he should have ported to the tier 3 tower if he was going to come back. That was really the big problem. He ported to the tier 2, and then they had the stun set up where they would have just insta-gibbed him if he had ported. So he canceled the port, which was the right play, but my question was why waste the port cooldown like that in the first place? Just pressure that tower, man. We're going to see Magnus in a little bit of trouble. Thought he was going down, but the trample didn't connect. Now they might be able to turn it around. Hag going to come in, the Bat Blast going to connect with Bubbles. Unfortunately, whiffs a Luna, but it doesn't matter. I have a feeling a Luna's going to fall here. Gwaine gets the kill, and if a Luna can survive this, I will be absolutely shocked. Nope, not going to be able to. That's going to be a 2-for-0 exchange in favor of the Hellborn side. They had a nice opportunity, thought they could pick off Magnus, but instead it gets turned around. Great map awareness from OGSY. It seems if one of them gets picked off, they're either pushing a tower at some other place in the map or the rest of the team is there to, well, assist in turning around a team fight, as we just saw demonstrated.
Yeah, and I don't know why Cthulhu Trample did not hit Magnus at back there. I think there was it hit some kind of cliff, and it misses.
Yeah, I think that's what it looked like. It really looked like it should have. Maybe he did get caught on one of those little terrain imperfections, if you will. It certainly has happened to me a time or two playing Cthulhu, so I can relate a little bit. So we'll see here. The Hellborn side, again, just not to sound like a broken record, but continuing their rampage. It seems every time I glance up at the golden experience deficit, OGSY is just further and further ahead. And they've still got a couple of tier 2 towers remaining. Of course, all of their towers are still up. Part of the reason why I question Cthulhu's decision-making so much. Just get that tower, man. Get your team a nice little gold pick-me-up. Get them something. Get your Magebane a little bit of extra change towards that Rune Cleaver. He'll appreciate it, I promise. We've got Wretched Hag up here in the top. Hag needs to be a little bit careful. Bubble's going to come in. There's the silence. There's the Kelp Field. Smart blink from Shadow. He's going to go into the trees. He's going to port out. If they get sight, uh-oh, this could be bad. His port's going to get canceled. And, whoa, Hag playing with fire here. He's going to port back a little bit further, but look at all the time he's buying. He's still alive. It took 4 heroes to take him down. All the while in the mid, the Legion Courier gets taken out. The rest of the team going to go in. They're going to be able to pick off Magebane in a 4v1. A port coming in from Cthulhu. He's completely dry. The port coming in from Aluna as well. Same story, different chapter. She's going to fall shortly after. Cthulhu may not fall, but he brings nothing to the table. He's going to head back to the well. In comes the Shell Surf, and it looks like this tower is going to fall. That's going to end off as a 2-for-1 exchange, and it looks like the tier 2 tower is going to fall in the end. It seemed like a good play from the Legion side to finish off Hag, but it just took too much of their resources for but 1 kill. I believe Hag did buy back. Yes, indeed. She's back, ready to make it happen. The Magnus ulti going to be used, not going to connect with anything, but it does clear up the creeps. Of course, the tier 2 does go down, does not get denied, and this Hellborn side jumping ahead by another 4K gold.
Yeah, definitely. Hellborn team is really in a very good shape right now. So as we can see, Pharaoh is going for a Hellflower, as well as Wretched Hag is almost finishing his ship state. Yeah, so it's really huge for them, and to actually bring down Mischyz with this item. So Legion team at here is slightly in a very bad shape.
Yeah, absolutely right. And Hag, she's pretty close to the sheep stick, still about 1,300 off or so, but always a big item pickup, so that's a good thing to point out. And as you were mentioning that, actually, Pharaoh just finished his Hellflower, so again, another a pretty sizable core item that's been picked up here. The last remaining outer tower for the Legion side looks like it's going to have a short lifetime here. It's getting chipped away at. Looks like VtS is going to pose a bit of a defense to keep it alive a bit longer, but I have a feeling the Hellborn side is going to clump up, try and make it happen. Torturer Magnus lagging behind a little bit, but I think they'll make it to the party with plenty of time to spare. Looking at the inventories, though, the big difference for me is looking at the boots. We see a Luna and Hammerstorm still on red boots. I mean, 24 minutes in, that is just painful to see. We see both Aluna and Hammerstorm barely above static gold gain here, sitting in the 80 GPM zone. Not where you want to be. Just look at that GPM chart. So convincingly in favor. The Hellborn team, Wrath of the Pharaoh, going to connect with Bubbles, though. That's going to be the end of Ferreira before the fight even starts. It's exactly what they needed to do. The G's going to rain from the skies as this Tier 2 tower gets taken out. That's going to make this a rough defense. Bubbles does have enough for a buyback here if they continue pressuring. But no, OGSY going to play it safe. And just port back, reset, and save those cooldowns for another day.
Yeah, that's true. And they broke down all of their second tier towers. So next, I will guess they are going for the Rex.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, well, nothing left but base structures, and that's when things start to get a little bit scary. And interestingly enough, we see Magebane not going for the Runed Cleaver build. He's going slightly different route, of course, the Helm of the Black Legion, as we noted, but straight into the Blessed Orb. So, not that these items are particularly strange, but more so, is he ever really going to be able to take off? The great thing about the Rune Cleaver is, in a game like this, you might be able to make a case to say, well, Magebane's not going to be able to farm long enough to make that item worth it. He's never going to see return on that investment, so he might as well just go for those core items. And that very well may be the right choice here. But the nice thing about going for the Rune Cleaver is it does give you that sort of turning point, where there have been situations like this where you can turtle up in your base, and with that Rune Cleaver, Magebane can just get out of control. But here, he's going that tanky build, and it's not going to be enough to save him. He gets caught by the Wrath of the Pharaoh, the Hellflower instantly applied, and that's all she wrote. So he has no damage output. He went the tanky route instead. Obviously not enough to keep him alive, and that right there, I think, is the most convincing evidence that this Magebane pick is really more of a hindrance than anything else for the Legion team. That very well may be the icing on the cake here. They're knocking on the front door. This Tier 3 tower going to start taking a lot of damage. They still have a lot of cooldowns up. Really didn't have to burn too much to take that Magebane down. He certainly does not have enough for a buyback. Going to be dead for another 15 seconds. The glyph going to be used. Going to delay the inevitable a bit longer. The creeps are going to get cleared up here, but still plenty of Hellborn damage coming out as this tower is just getting chipped away. It'll be down to at least half health here before Magebane even gets back down to the field.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I kind of acknowledge Magebane to go for core items instead of Rune Cleaver, because I don't think Magebane himself have any time to farm as well, because for the Hellborn team, they are pushing quite hard and they are pushing insanely fast. So yeah, perhaps go by the core items is indeed a great choice, and Cthulhu is in big trouble and be caught out, and Round of Pharaoh casted on Aluna and Hammerstorm both bring down, and Magma's Eruption is wasted at the back, not be able to put a key in. I don't know what's the reason. Yeah, but total domination.
Yeah, the missed Magmas ulti is a little bit unfortunate, but it really doesn't seem to matter all too much. Magebane was able to actually get a nice, Mana Rift off, but it just wasn't enough. Simply too little too late. And I do agree with you. I think in this case, the Rune Cleaver probably never would have seen any sort of ROI, because you're right, they're pushing a bit too aggressively for that item to be the right choice, but it's still unfortunate. I mean, it just makes Magebane now a lot more useless. He has virtually no damage output, and really, he's not all that tanky. I mean, he's got 1,400 hit points. That's kind of par for the course right now. If you look at everyone else, Pharaoh at 2k, Torturer 1,100, Hag 1,100, Emerald Warden 1.5. He's really kind of par for the course. The Hellborn, though, is going to lose their Courier, which is a bit of a misplay there, although they are just going to move straight into a Kongor attempt, and very well may transition into a Kongor kill. No, they're just going to back it on up, so they probably could have picked up Kongor, but OGSY opting to play it safe, and they're going to head for the hills.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Wrath of Pharaoh being caught at the mid and caught on Aluna, but I think, Ratchet Hand is going in, and a trample caused by Cthulhu will be doing on Ratchet Hand. Ratchet Hand is going low, and he's blink off and got caught by Bubbles. Curfew, and managed to go down. And looks like they are pursuing these two heroes, and I'm not sure if it's a good choice to actually.
Yeah, there was definitely a bit of a misplay there from Hag and Pharaoh. Maybe just getting a bit too overzealous. Let's see, does Hag actually have a Bat Blast? Yeah, oh no, he doesn't. Okay, 33 seconds. Oh, there we go. So yeah, that's sort of unfortunate. I was thinking Hag might be able to just burn the Bat Blast pick up a quick kill onto a Luna, but it was still on cooldown. So, yeah, at the end, as you so properly pointed out, Hag might have been able to survive, but blinking out of range, the actual damage and stun from the kelp field was enough to finish him off. So if he could have found a way to blink without breaking the range of that kelp field, it could have gone a little bit differently, but all in all, Hag's dead, and we'll see Emerald Warden and Pharaoh kind of in an awkward position here as we're stuck in this pause. We'll see how this fight continues. Unfortunately, though, Bubbles pretty much out of everything. He has no cooldowns, low on mana. The Mana Rift coming up soon. This could turn into an interesting fight here with Magmus and Torturer right nearby. I think the Hellborn side could kind of easily turn this around.
Yep. I think if I were them, I will just back off right now because Torturer and Magmus both have stun and they will be able to turn this around fairly easily. And Pharaoh had his Health Flower off cooldown, so yeah, they should back.
Yeah. Yep.
Magmus had a PK as well, so he can directly blink and just stun them. So I think that is going to happen.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I somehow along the lines missed the Magmus PK pickup, but yeah, we'll probably blink straight in here. And yep, there goes Magmus. There goes the line stun. Hammerstorm going to catch a beautiful hammer throw, but I don't know that that will be enough. Magebane does secure a kill onto Pharaoh, but at what cost? Well, it'll be his own life, and as well as the life of several of his teammates. Hammerstorm going to head for the hills. He's the only one left alive in this little engage. Of course, the Luna has already been back in the well. Looks like Hammerstorm is going to be able to survive. So a 2-for-3 exchange when it's all said and done. Nice cleanup from OGSY. 31k gold, 20k experience. I don't know, man. Really feels like a matter of time at this point. It feels somewhat even, but 5-24 is the score on the board right now, and those numbers do not lie, my friend.
Yep, exactly. But when we come into home game, well, anything is possible when at the late game, one of the team just make big mistake and the whole game gets turned over. So yeah, precisely because for myself, actually, in my own experience, I experienced a game with like maybe 34 against 6, the score, and the team with 6 kills won.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
yeah,
true.
because
you're right. Anything is possible in the world of New Earth, but maybe the proper word is improbable here for this Legion team. And maybe I shouldn't be too eager to count on a team with the Magebane because we have seen pretty intense hard carry turnarounds in the past. But this poor Bubbles, man, he is just getting picked on. Pereira having a completely different game from last match, sitting 2-8-1 on that Bubbles. Yeah, looking at the damage output tab, he's still managing to do quite a bit of team damage output, 15% of the overall hero damage done. But yeah, that just feigns in comparison to pretty much everyone else, especially the Hellborn side. Pharaoh with 24% done is just incredible. This is a pretty impressive Pharaoh game. Super Maozai really having well, quite the good Pharaoh game.
yeah, especially when he gets VtS to OTM, which is the start of the mastery, he will be like flying everywhere throughout the map. Yeah, so causing lots of engage going on. Yeah. So.
Pardon me. Need more caffeine. The yawns are kicking in now. No, you're right, though. Staff the master choice on Pharaoh. Absolutely love it. Synergizes very nicely. We'll give him some pretty solid stats, make him a little tankier, give him that bigger mana pool, but most importantly, reducing the cooldown on that ultimate makes him a very scary tool. The Sheepstick for Hag has been completed. We talked about that a bit earlier. Well, at least the pieces. I think it's been complete for quite some while as well. Emerald Warden, man, he is getting scarier by the minute. He's now got the negative Souls Bulwark as well as a Frostburn, which I imagine will be split into the Geometer's Frostwolf Skull at some point in this game, as we've seen many a time in the past. The only other item pickups here worth noting are in the inventory of Torturer, Astrolabe, and Energizer. Going to be picked up here. Cthulhuphant working towards a Soul's Bulwark, keyword being working. Still a ways off. He does have the 2 ring mails, but 900 off that recipe or so. And yeah, the difference in inventory still is really getting to me. A Luna sitting on red boots and a mana battery at this point. So she has been investing most of that income into wards, which is certainly admirable, maybe desirable, but still just that GPM chart, man. that GPM chart. When the
Yeah.
lowest support of one team is on par with the highest farming carry of the other. You gotta just kind of put your hands up in the air and say, I don't know. Sorry, Mage Bane. This is gonna be tricky to come back from. My only complaint at the moment is Hellborn side playing a bit too passively. They could easily just group up, force a team fight, pick up a genocide, and probably just push for the win at this point, honestly. I mean, I'm thinking they almost don't realize how far ahead they actually are right now at this point in the game. But they are going to take Kongor. It's going to be a free Kongor kill here, it looks like. And I imagine after they pick up the token, that will be their green light to kind of get a little more serious about pushing, maybe put on that finishing blow. Kongor gonna fall here. We'll see who picks up the token. I imagine it'll be Emerald Warden, who has also picked up the Demonic Breastplate. And no, actually the token gonna end up in the hands of...
No one. Where's the token?
Did they destroy it?
Did they destroy it? I think so.
I think they destroyed it by accident. Look at Emerald Warden. He's looking around for it. He can't find it. He's scratching his head. Oh, shucks, guys. Who destroyed the token? Wow.
Yeah, that's one bad habit when you fight Kong and you tend to press attack on the Kongor.
Yeah, that must be what happened, because I mean, I know you can destroy the token. It is a strategy you can, go in and try and screw up the other team, and I can't think of any reason why they would want to destroy it purposefully.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just coin that a mistake. Someone accidentally clicked on the token. Very unfortunate.
Yeah.
I don't have another explanation unless I missed something, unless Magebane blinked in and out really quickly or something that we didn't quite capitalize on. But regardless, the engage is here. Pharaoh going to go straight in to start things off. He's going to be able to survive to tell the tale. The Astrolabe going to top him off. Beautiful eruption from Magnus to come in. That's going to pick up 3-0. The GG well playeds come out. The vote to concede passes, and that's going to be the end of the game. OGSY with a very convincing win over VtS. Almost a completely different game. Well, certainly a much different game from what we saw initially between these two teams. Sort of an odds chain of remakes and connection issues, but I'm proud to announce that OGSY will be moving on to the round of 8. I imagine there will be some matches coming up soon. We're supposed to go into a lunch break, but we kind of got behind dealing with this match that ended up being kind of 2 matches instead of 1. So I don't know. We may have a break, or we may have another game coming up here in just a matter of minutes. Min, closing thoughts on this game before we cut to some tunes?
Yeah, my thoughts are same as yours. I mean, I expected more big plays by the Legion team, and because I really acknowledge their previous game skills and they are doing really pretty fine, and I don't know why. I mean, it's most probably Mischyz can't get any farm, and maybe some lack of communication. They switched the lane too late. I mean, yeah, Cthulhu Fun should just go bottom and switch it immediately when Mischyz can't get his farm. Yeah, so. Yeah, overall, it's a good attempt. I mean, good try by Mischyz trying to do a comeback. Yeah, so...
Yep, absolutely. Well, like I said, guys, sit tight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Zyori. With me is Min, and we'll be back with more Heroes of Newerth in just a moment.